Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we're continuing our exploration of the endless quantity of Schubert that has accumulated in my life because I like him so much and I just don't want to get rid of it. Well, okay. So here we have the string quartet in G major, D887, along with the Quartettensatz with the Carmina Quartet. Really a fine group. They made a few discs for Denon, not many, and they were excellent. They really were excellent, and so I prized them. I saved them, because they're really, really fine. Well, and finally it had to happen. So here it is, guys. Get ready. It's coming. Schubert Lieder with Fischer-Dieskau. 3 volumes. Volumes 1, 2, let me see, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Yes. Volume 3 has Die schöne Müllerin, Winterreise, Schwanengesang with Gerald Moore. I mean, these are classic, I tell you, classic versions of these Schubert songs. And there are just piles of them. This volume, each of these other things are 9 discs. So that's 18 plus 21 CDs worth of Schubert Lieder. It is not all of Schubert's Lieder, of course, but it's all the Lieder of Schubert that Fischer-Dieskau did. Now, I got those, because, when you think of Schubert Lieder, you think of Fischer-Dieskau. You just do. He was the guy. I personally liked other versions of the big song cycles better. Well, I liked them sung by tenor, and I always liked Hermann Prey a little bit better. And there was, of course, Fritz Wunderlich, who we already talked about, and Die schöne Müllerin, and Peter Pears, who was wonderful with Benjamin Britten. And then, of course, having got those, DG released this. Oh my God, the Fischer-Dieskau Lieder box, which we talked about in the previous video. It's just not fair, is it, that we have all this stuff? But there that is, and I have all of those Lieder. And, Fischer-Dieskau was a very, very sensitive and intelligent Lieder singer. The issue, of course, was the voice. The voice dried out as he got a little bit older, and he also, his delivery, in order to be sort of dramatic, he started to sort of bark and do things in like Sprechstimme. His earliest recordings of these song cycles, which I have some, probably will run into them at some point, were on EMI. And when he was in his freshest voice, it was the same time that he did things like, the Klemperer St. Matthew Passion and stuff like that. And there's a big difference in terms of his singing. But here for these DG recordings, he was still in good shape. And Gerald Moore, of course, was a wonderful accompanist. It's a nice bunch of boxes, and I'm not giving them up. They are staying with me forever. They're going to stay there for the rest of my time on this mortal orb. Then we've got the Schubert Quintet, the string quintet, of course, the ultimate string quintet, with Ensemble Villa Musica on Naxos, a very, very fine performance. Really, really good with the string trio in B flat, Deutsche 581. Good stuff. Great, lovely. And the last 4 quartets with the Quartetto Italiano. Gorgeous performances. These are so beautiful. These also showed up in the big Quartetto Italiano box, but that's disappeared like years ago. That was available for about 15 seconds. So this may well be easier to find. They are lovely, lovely, lovely performances. Wonderful, wonderful group. They had such class and such beauty of tone, and I just love listening to them. And of course, one must have the trios with the Beaux-Arts doing that stuff, and the Grumio trio doing the string trio thingies, and they are also equally fine. They recorded these things a couple of times, I believe. Great performances, absolutely great performances, and sort of, standard references, I say, as we're talking about references. And the late piano sonatas with Maurizio Pollini, another great set that was a reference recording for this music. Pollini sort of burst on the scene for Deutsche Grammophon, doing late things like Beethoven's late sonatas and Schubert's late sonatas, the pieces that were supposed to be more intellectually challenging, because he was a contemporary music person, and so it was all of a piece. He did the tough music, the music that required a great deal of thought and effort and whatsmanship, and he did it beautifully. He really did. So that was great. Then there was this thing. Oh, yes. This is just a lovely, 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 lovely vocal music disc on Sony, whatever this series was called. Essential Classics? Yeah, Essential Classics. You've got Auf dem Strom with Benita Valenti and Myron Bloom, French horn, and Rudolf Serkin. And then The Shepherd on the Rock. What a great performance this is with Benita Valenti, Harold Wright, clarinet, and Rudolf Serkin. This was like from Marlborough and stuff like that, And then Brahms, the Liebeslieder waltzes with Rudolf Serkin and Leon Fleischer, and 4 serious songs with George London and Leo Taubman. I mean, really, a really great vocal music disc of sort of unusual things. So you can see why I've hung on to that. And the Schubert 9th and 8th with the London Symphony, the Vienna Phil, and Joseph Cripps. This Schubert 9th with the LSO is one of those great unknown Schubert recordings. I mean, it's phenomenally fine, but it was one of those performances that, connoisseurs kind of knew. And Decca never quite knew what to do with it. It was issued like on Eclipse or Stereo Treasury or one of those cheapy series with the crappy paper sleeves. And boy, what a fine performance of the 9th it is. I mean, the unfinished is really good too, but the 9th is, yeah, it's one of Cripps' great recordings. And last but not least, we already had this, didn't we? Schubert 4 and Schumann 4 with Joachim and the Concertgebouw. It's on Decca now instead of Philips. Remember, I got it on Japanese Philips? Well, now I have it on Japanese Decca. It's the same thing. What can I tell you? I keep trying. I really do. So there you have it. A lot of Lieder and other goodies, chamber works, and fabulous things for your Schubert delectation. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.